All right, everyone, welcome back into another fantasy golf video. Going to be getting into the round 2 showdown coverage here for the Rocket Mortgage Classic. So what I want to do is I want to start off with just kind of looking at the leaderboard, looking at how the chalk is doing. And guys, it is crazy. This is a tournament in which is going just like every single other tournament, it seems like, where the AM guys go off, go low. It's like, all right, this is going to be a good week. And then the PM guys, especially the ones that are chalk, struggle. That's exactly what happens. I mean, I wish the fantasy golf writers would come up with a new script because it is getting old. Literally every single week is this exact script. It is strange, okay? Really, it's honestly just weird how frequently it keeps happening. But looking at it, we see Hideki +4. Hideki was terrible today. We'll look at why. But then the other chalk, Ricky Fowler, basically the exact same play. You know, Ricky probably a little bit more upside, but basically the exact same play. -5, you know, right there. Sunjam, surprisingly chalk, -3. That was weird. I didn't see that coming. Austin Akrak, +2. Didn't really get anything going. Ludwig, who, it's a perfect example of why, first round leader-wise, you have to adapt to how the season is going. There were so many players that were strong first round leader bets. Ricky was one of them. Austin was one of them. You look at Aaron Rye, he was one of them, okay? And I'm talking about AM only, early tee times, okay? And that's why I suggested, you know, we just need to adapt. Sure, should we most likely get the first round lead? Yeah, but there's been just this random stuff this season, like Peter, the Monday qualifier, having the first round lead. Taylor Moore, not exactly too crazy, 41st in the 9-5 model, but still shocking there, right? You got to adjust, and that's why I was suggesting people to do the T5 bets on BetMGM. Maybe do the top 10 bets on DraftKings. That way, we are still able to use this predictive data to go ahead and have a good round 1, right? So hopefully you guys were able to take advantage of that. But, you know, this is kind of the week in which I expected, where we have, I call it kind of controlled randomness, where we are getting these random players popping up in there that really weren't supposed to have these good weeks. Peter popping up in there, Trey Molinack, Charlie Hoffman. You know, there's a lot of kind of random players playing well. And on the flip side, some random players not playing well. So let's go ahead and take a peek at the live stroke stats. So there are still some players finishing up, just as an FYI. Okay, so when we get into the showdown stuff, it might change once they finish up. It might change who are the top pick. Okay, that's when the data is complete, when the round is finished. But what I really want to look at here is I want to look at strokes gained putting. And I'm going to go by players that have data. Obviously, Peter, Monday qualifier, he's not going to have any. So just got to put the field stat rank to 1 to pull in those players. So which players are players that putted way worse than expected, that are expected to putt better tomorrow? All the players you would kind of think that struggled. Max Homa, Austin, Hideki's popping up in there a little bit. Ricky actually missed a bunch of bunny putts. He could have easily putted better. Okay, so those are a lot of players that we could be on again today or tomorrow for round 2 showdown. And if we see them popping up as round 2 showdown picks, that's like a double confirmation of the players that we should be on. Okay, that's why I like round 2 showdown the best, because it's kind of the easiest to attack. You know how to attack. And typically speaking, the players that should be high owned are not high owned. You look at Colin Morikawa, the best round 1 showdown pick, was not really chalk. You look at Ludwig, who was the 3rd best showdown pick, not as chalk as I would have thought he would have been for that. He was a popular play DFS wise, but I thought he would be higher owned in round 1 showdown because he was the 3rd best pick. It's just kind of crazy. And that goes to show you how well that first round leader data has been doing, which is why it's tilting that these random players keep having the first round lead. It's so strange. Like if we could bet on a player to finish 2nd or 1 shot off the first round lead, we'd be killing the sports books with that. But no, that's, once again, want to echo that. That's why I like the T5 type bet, especially on BetMGM, where they will pay it out full. Let's go on and flip this around. Which players putted extremely well that are probably not going to putt again? So Aaron Rye, my outright bet in Aaron Rye. Yeah, we'll see. Probably not going to have a good round 2. Doug Gim, another one of those. Kyle Westmoreland, Jonathan Bird. How is he playing today? Actually, I'm kind of curious. Just real quick, I need to look that up. -4. All right. All right. That's awesome. One of my favorite values on the slate is -4. Good stuff. But he's not expected to putt better. Sean O'Hare maybe as well. You know, we got a lot of names popping up in there. And let's just see overall strokes gained total. This is one way of looking at it. Which players are due to have probably a worse round in round 2? This is kind of what this is showing. We have another easier way to go about showing that. And then just flipping around, yes, no surprises here. Hideki, JT, those are players that struggled. Tom Kim, Benny Ann, Tony Finau, a bunch of players that played much worse than expected. But let's go ahead and look at the little bit better way of looking at that. Let's look at the regression. So what we got to do is we just got to sort by the round 2, and let's just see which players are most likely to play better in round 2. Basically the same stuff. Hideki, Dietrich, Austin, Kim, Benny Ann, Finau, Akshay, Bo Hosler. So a lot of pretty interesting names, Kevin Yu. And so a lot of players that did struggle that probably shouldn't have. Okay, Hideki is pretty crazy there. So he probably will have a much better round 2. Let's just look at the showdown picks for that. Well, let's show you guys real quick. Let's flip that around. Let's see who's not expected to play better. It should be the same thing basically as before. Yeah, no real shocks there. Okay, a bunch of players that played well in round 1 that weren't exactly expected to play that well. So let's go ahead and look at showdown rank. So Tony Finau popping up in there. Now, if you guys want to go by early tee time only, you can. Let's actually take a peek at that as well real quick. Let's sort by early. So a decent amount of the players that had the early tee times obviously went low. Let's check late now. Not as many players going low, it seems like there. And that actually might be something I add in here. Early tee time, late tee time, see if there's any advantage there. I think that's something I'll add in there soon. But now let's just go ahead and take a peek at the best showdown picks. Tony Finau popping up in there. Jaeger, Max Homa, Colin Morikawa actually popping up in there. That's shocking. He actually played well. Expect to have a good round 2 as well. Tom Kim, Ricky, Benny Ann, Hideki, Smalley, Austin. I bet some of these plays are not going to be as high owned as they should be, especially like Tony Finau, like Jaeger, who are actually going to have some PM tee times. But let's just take a peek at which ones are going to have the early tee time. You know, once again, I typically like to attack. And because the round's not finished yet, we actually have to sort by late because this updates once the round is completed. So Max Homa, Hideki, Smalley, Ekrak, Sanjay, Cam Davis, Brian Harmon, those are all players that we probably should be playing in our round 2 showdown builds. And I can tell you a lot of these names probably won't be that high owned. I'll tell you what, Taylor Moore and Justin Suh will probably end up being a little bit more high owned than they should. Let's go ahead and just take a peek and just run some. Well, let's see if this is updated. Yeah, this is not up. This will be updated once the round completes, the round 3 ball bets. Those actually did really well today. If you guys bet them, you broke even on a lot or you hit on a lot of those. So hopefully you're able to take advantage of that. Let's go ahead and just take a peek now and run the optimizer. But let's just take a peek at the showdown lineup tool. So all the days already in there. What I went ahead and did is I kind of bumped up Max Homa's projections just slightly, and then Austin Ekrak as well. I also bumped his projections up a little bit as well. The reason for that is because, one, they are expected to play better, so I don't mind that. And then just kind of looking at the live strokes as well, there are 2 players that are expected to putt better as well. So there's kind of that double data validation. Now, I will say that this is such a round or tournament in which it's all about scoring. And so kind of a unique way to go about attacking that is actually look at regression. Players that played extremely poorly in round 1 that are expected to play much better in round 2. So like Kevin Yu, a player that we like this week, I don't mind that. Mark Hubbard, I don't mind that as well. And what's funny is that we are seeing a lot of the big name good plays from the late tee time. Like I said, that's just what happens. It's weird. Who struggled? Okay, so we'll see if they can bounce back in round 2. That being said, I did kind of cap some players as well. I didn't really like Bremlett for round 2 showdown too much, but the data liked it, so I didn't want to discredit that too much. Same thing with Dietrich and Lee Hodges. Didn't want to discredit it fully. You know, let the data do what the data does. But we can see builds wise, these are the players that I ended up on, and this is kind of looking like the best optimal build for round 2 showdown. You guys disagree with that? Once again, Bremlett, I'm fine with that. But we get Max Homa, we get Ekrak, we get Jaeger, some of the better round 2 showdown plays. But that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give a like and subscribe. That does help with the channel. Let's have a good slate, and as always, let's keep cashing.